Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm going to be doing a video on For the Lord RPG melee weapons. Then some basic weapons here: sword, mace, and battle axe. And how I came up or devised the melee combat for this game. And it's similar to Dungeons & Dragons D20 system. But I'm going to show you what I sort of included in it. So the sword, the basic dueling sword, does d6 damage, and for to hit, it is prowess. So to me, prowess is, I start with aggression and now I'm using prowess. Thank you to one of my YouTube viewers. Aggression, I feel that the fighter, it's not how big and, muscular you are, it's your aggression, it's your prowess, it's really how aggressive you are. That's, as an experienced medieval armored combat fighter, that's what I noticed. It's not the guys that are the big guys that are necessarily the better fighters. It's the ones that have they're aggressive and they have prowess. So I don't take anyone for granted on the field, little guy or big guy. I don't, everyone's dangerous. So for prowess, I'm going to say it's like an ability score, from whatever to, like, for me, I think I'm a +3. I don't think I'm an 18 strength, a 4 or a 5. To me, a 4, I can get to 4 sometimes when I'm really feeling good and healthy, which maybe I am. But 5 is definitely like, you got to be, MMA or whatever, you're training all the time. 3, I think I'm pretty athletic, I work out and all that. So I think I'm maybe a 3. And then let me explain to you then what happens. Let's say I have a prowess of 3 and d6 damage for this, okay? Because a human being would have in the game from, women have 8 to 10 vitality, hit points. Men will have 12 to 14, 16 vitality. Yeah, men and women, that's it. Okay, so this is what I noticed with new fighters. They will fight like this. Okay, that's kind of what they do. So if they're naturally have a prowess of 3, then they're going to be like that. Okay, yeah, and the wasted movements, the nervousness, and it takes a long time to get used to not doing that or whatever, to get out of that. But I always, in practice, really encourage and help the new guys. I really want them to have fun and feel good about jumping on. So I become a punching bag. I want to be a punching bag for them. Anyway, so, and training on a PEL is obviously a tire PEL, using blunt steel. Years, I've spent years on this thing, many hours, training to do what I'm going to show you. Okay, so I want to show you 2 things. +3 d6. This can hurt someone, it can kill someone, just by doing this, but kind of hard. +3, you got to hit them. Usually the default defense is 12. But if you train and get better at sword, handling the sword, this is what, let me just say I've been training for a little while. I get a glory point for accomplishing things, so I spend that time training to be better at the sword. So I will get 1. I will add 1 die rank, okay? +3, 1 die rank. The die ranks are, let me put that down. D4, 6, D8, 10, 12, right? Now, we can go beyond that to a dice pool, adding more dice, but let's just stick with the first 5. So, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have one die rank, which is a D4 plus 3 D4. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay. Go. All right, come over there. Come on. Hey, you check out your cat and squirrels later. Go. All right. So this is what a little like practicing to hit and getting an extra D4 to that roll. Okay, so you're better form. You get a couple extra swings in there. You understand motion. You don't just you're not doing this. Okay, you're learning the movements, the elbow. So here I'm getting a little bit better. Okay. So that's what that kind of turns into. You're getting a little better, you're getting a little more, you're getting a couple more shots in. So that's what the plus 3 plus 1 die rank is. So let me, I'm training. Let's just say I go to, 3, whatever it is. You're going up to get better and better. Okay, whatever. So, then, okay, so you're just getting that much better at it, doing more combos, looking for even like the feints, okay, feint, and get them below. So you do things like that, feint, and get them below, okay. So this, you go up here, fake them out, and go down below. Okay, so there's that. The other thing you can improve is the damage. So let's say I spend time improving the damage. So this is a 2. If I want to raise it up to a 3, D8, that's 3 glory points. So you go out and convert and rescue and plant the church and preach. And when you get back and rest, you can train. And then of course you fight dumb bad guys and save people. So you want to get better at your sword because it's an evil, evil world. And so I want to increase the damage to a D8. So what does that look like with this little sword? And I believe there's a difference. I believe there's a difference between to hit skill and the damage skill. Okay? So I show that a person can get better at hit and do fancy stuff, but also they realize where to hit and to put a little extra. It's an extra thing in there. There's an extra solid deep hit. Okay, so that someone getting good with this can be just as devastating, in my opinion, as a two-hander. Just because of how. Okay, so I'm going to kind of show you what that looks like. So so with just the 2-hit skill, getting better, doing some things, blah blah blah. But increasing the damage is understanding the weight of the blade with the movements, and it works that I'm using my entire body, I'm using my torso, and there is that last little, because when I practice with guys, I can hit them, but not do that last little, thing. So that's what this represents. Okay. So same principle with the mace. Same thing. So I might as well just show you. Starting. But then as you get better with the mace. Oh, of course, I'm already doing extra damage. So that's a D8, which is, you know, it's a hit. But I can raise it up to a D10, D12 with my glory points. You know, really hit that much harder. So it's two things. It's the hit. It's really about the motion and getting that down and not hitting yourself. And then the increasing the damage is really understanding that weight, that movement, that extra little, you know, like I can just go here. It's not very hard, but as just a little. Okay. And then the final, I'll do demos of the battle axe. Same thing. People with the battle axe, beginners. You know, this is heavy enough that you could do D10. If you just get it in the right, you know, it'll sink in. Don't want to get splinters. I definitely got to wear my gloves for this. Here, let me wear them right now for fun of it. My gauntlets. Okay, because I will show you a couple things here. Okay. Well, for the battle axe, same thing. Doing more of the to hit, raising the to hit is, you're getting more of this in. You're feeling the combo, returns, push off. You then get a clean strike in. Now to increase the damage, and you can go to D12, and then of course you can increase it more, but that's advanced. But you can go to D12, and and there's that last little, there's a little, it's that last little joyous extra damage in there. Okay, so that's where, that's how I have come up with that you can do through glory points, through your own training as a character, increase the to hit chance and the damage. And there are many other optional weapon things that I've included, like bleed, stun, crushing, like the battle axe and mace are crushing, so crit on a 1920. The sword will bleed, so if you can do 6 points of damage, they will bleed once every turn, and they gotta stop the bleeding. And those are like little advanced options in the game that the players can decide to use whenever, but they have to call that out themselves. So that's how I interpreted for the Lord RPG melee combat for Dark Ages, the Apocalypse, and even Christians in Space. And this is my experience. And one last thing I remember, just a good point that came up recently, where the character, our player, was saying like, "Oh, it's easy to do this. It's easy to do that." And I'm like, "Well, it's easy. You can tie your shoe. I can tie my shoe. We all can tie our shoes. But I cannot tie my shoe in the middle of this. Even when I put my armor on, I cannot tie my shoe at all. So we need to understand that when we as GMs make people roll for things, like, oh, that's easy, but you're on the side of a cliff. You can't tie your shoe when you're hanging on the side of the cliff. You can't tie your shoe when you're carrying things. So even though something you think is simple and easy, there's going to be times when you're going to need that to do that. Whatever. You got to still roll. Right? That was a total side note. Okay, but that's my little melee thing for you guys to make this game way more awesome and cool. And you know, and I have defense and armor saves too. That's two separate things as well that I got in the game. Defense to hit, and you get still get armor save. Those are things that I, in medieval armored combat, feel works or is accurate. Okay. Oh, in the game of life, roll holy dice.